Going back almost 100 years, just after the First World War, a demonstration against British rule in India. Amritsar, to be specific. People gathered in the Jallianwala Gardens to make their frustrations heard, to speak out. At about 4:30 p.m, 13th of April 1919, British troops opened fire on the crowds and kept firing for about 10 minutes. They blocked the exits to the gardens, causing a lethal crush. Men, women and children killed in a bloodbath. Brigadier Reginald Dyer, the man behind the mass killing, was recalled to London. He was removed from duty, but he became a hero in the minds of many British people. He was celebrated. The butcher of Amritsar, perhaps the face of empire in his day, the acceptable face. A skeletal, soon-to-be dead child in a concentration camp during the Boer Wars might be the more accurate face of empire. Tyranny in Asia and Africa, also in the Middle East. A country called Iraq, you may have heard of it, under the heel of British rule, who installed puppet leaders. Iraqis turned revolutionaries, trying to cast off the shackles of their imperial overlords. We're talking early 20th century here. The response was brutal. The RAF was used to target non-combatants, bombing people's homes basically. Chemical warfare against the Iraqi people was carried out. Collective punishments were used against various tribes. It's a common tactic used by various colonial empires, Britain included. Entire villages were wiped out. There were crop burnings, killing of livestock, poisoning of water supplies. Essentially, government-sanctioned terrorism in the name of what? Security, bringing order to the land. How dare these Iraqis strike at their overlords? How dare they? What of the partition of India and the creation of Pakistan? Draw a line on a map and watch as millions of people flee for their lives in terror in one direction or the other. It was handled really badly, and it resulted in avoidable bloodshed, hundreds of thousands killed. What of Charles Trevelyan and the Irish famine? Another man who was honoured for his vile behaviour. He let people starve to death, believing famine to be a divine punishment on those lazy Irish. Concentration camps didn't go out with the Second World War, no. Kenya in the 1950s. Facing a rebellion, the colonial rulers rounded up about 1.5 million Kenyans, put them in camps. Many were worked to death, torture was common, so was rape and mutilation. Look into it yourself, seriously, do some research. Some of the accounts. What humans will do to their fellows in a certain environment, given a certain set of circumstances. Winston Churchill, a man held up as a British wartime hero, and another one of those acceptable faces of empire, dare I say. What of the 1943 Bengal famine? Could Churchill have stopped it? It's a question worth asking. Churchill certainly has a questionable legacy. What's the point of me saying all this? What's the point of this video? What's the punchline, Steve? Well, it seems that many on the right of politics are keen to maintain an airbrushed version of British history, of imperial history, adventure on the high seas, time of heroism and discovery. But when you look past the jingoistic bullshit, or the only a few bad apples crap, and look at empire for what it is, look at imperialism for what it was, what it is. Criminal is the right word.